So, great storytelling has not really changed. And this is a commercial from the 60s by the legendary Bill Bernbach, which amply demonstrates that.
I, naturally, snavely being of sound mind and body, do hereby bequeath the following. To my wife, Rose, who spent money like there was no tomorrow, I leave $100 and a calendar. To my sons, Rodney and Victor, who spent every dime I ever gave them on fancy cars and fast women, I leave $50 in dimes. To my business partner, Jules, whose only motto was spend, 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 I leave nothing, nothing, nothing. And to my other friends and relatives who also never learned the value of $1, I leave $1. Finally, to my nephew Harold, who oft-times said, a penny saved is a penny earned, and who also oft-times said, gee, Uncle Max, it sure pays to own a Volkswagen. I leave my entire fortune of $100 billion.
Okay, that was a classic commercial from the 60s. But the internet has changed the way the consumers live, work, play. And while what constitutes a good story may not have changed, will not change, what has changed is that great, like everything else, is relative. Storytelling has to be in a context. And look at what's changed. What has the internet and everything that followed really changed? Consumers want to be heard. The internet has changed the consumer from being a viewer to being a participant in a conversation. Today's consumer is always connected. It is not a time slot. He or she is connected on some device right round the clock every waking hour. The consumer is spoiled for choice. It is no longer, I'm stuck in front of one screen, maybe 10 channels became 50 channels, became 100 channels. But I still have 5 channels I want to watch, and I'm stuck with those. Today, the consumer is literally spoiled for choice. Tech and data are opening new doors in every way for everyone. For us, as marketers and communicators, and to the consumer, in terms of choices and options and the way to do things. And a whole new breed of creators has arrived on the scene. And they are rewriting the rule book from our point of view. The answer to everything from our point of view comes down to one thing: forget your message. Gone are the days when you were broadcasting, when we were telling our story and the consumer was listening. Today, we are responding. We are responding to the consumer, and we are responding to everything that is happening in his or her life that has an impact on the way the consumer receives, responds, reacts. Social media really opened our eyes to this reality, and not very long ago. 2010 really was the first time a mainstream brand and a mainstream advertiser really said, wow, people are talking about our ad. Can we use this opportunity to have a conversation? The ad, you would have all probably seen, is Old Spice. This was the second ad. Sound?
Do you use Old Spice body wash? I don't know. Do you like the smell of adventure? Do you want a man who smells like he can bake you a gourmet cake in the dream kitchen he built for you with his own hands? Of course you do. Swan dive into the best night of your life. So ladies, should your man smell like an Old Spice man? You tell me.
Old Spice, it was a very strategic response to a marketing problem, the original ad. They discovered women were buying men's bathing lotions. And the whole premise of a man should smell like a man and not a woman was a proper, conventional, traditional commercial. But it just became hugely popular. And people started talking about it constantly, everywhere, on Twitter, on Facebook. Popular shows were talking about it. So when Old Spice did their follow-up, which is this, again a very popular commercial, they said, listen, if the model and the Old Spice persona is causing so much conversation in the net, let's start responding. And so, for every tweet about Old Spice or the Old Spice man, the team actually responded with a video. So, here is how it played out.
Hello, old friend Ellen DeGeneres. Hope you're doing fantastic. I realize that my unbelievably rippling abs can be distracting. So I grew this goatee that encircles my mouth so people pay attention to the words that come out. Just for you. And those words are, thank you, Ellen, for massaging my ears with your compliment-laden Twitter prose. Things have been going great for me. In Eastern Latvia, they love Old Spice body wash so much, they made me king, which is great because I love grapes. And I've renamed my kingdom Ellenopia, where you've been crowned Grand Princess Queen of all who are pleasant, syndicated, and prone to spontaneous dance movements. Thank you, Grand Princess Queen Ellen. Thank you.
So the earlier tweets, they carefully handpicked the tweets they responded to. They handpicked celebrities, well-known people, or issues which were in the public eye. So Ellen DeGeneres is a very popular talk show host and had a huge following on Twitter as it was. So the first response was to a tweet she had posted saying how much she liked the Old Spice man.
George Stephanopoulos asks a political question. The president's lost some female support. How does the White House get those women voters back? Hi, George. Great question. Here are a few suggestions. First, mandate the use of Old Spice products in the White House. After Hours and Swagger are a couple of my favorites. Then, President Obama should henceforth only be seen in a towel. Also, instead of opening the State of the Union address with "My fellow Americans," try opening with "Hello, ladies," and end with "Presidential ab point." And if all else fails, Monaco smile. W. Spencer tweets, Old Spice. Am typing while running from stampede of scantily clad female admirers who appeared after trying Old Spice. Is there an antidote? W. Spencer. This is a common and life-threatening side effect of Old Spice body wash. Keep running to your nearest grocer and cover yourself in lady-scented body wash. You will then smell like daffodils and cotton candy, and women will want nothing to do with you. Problem solved.
This was the first time a major brand had actually responded to tweets practically in real time. Because this whole campaign played out in 2 days. 186 videos were shot within those 2 days. So they picked the tweet that they wanted to respond to, wrote and shot a commercial and put it out. So it was nearly real-time response. 5.9 million views on the first day. To put it in perspective, that was more than the number of people who watched Obama's first victory speech. 40 million views in the first week. And Twitter following shot through the roof, Facebook following shot through the roof. And year on year, finishing with this campaign, Old Spice sales, Old Spice was practically a dead brand by then. Old Spice sales had actually gone up by 125%. As I said, this is in many ways a seminal campaign because it was the first time marketers said, now conversations are a powerful way of communicating with the consumer, because when somebody has a conversation with you, they remember you, they form stronger opinions about you, and chances are their behavior is affected more than if you are speaking and they are listening. As marketers realize the power of this is a very interesting case where it is a very old-fashioned, old-school brand. People had grown up with it for 30, 40 years. So the problem was it was not seen as very contemporary. They decided to be very edgy in the commercial. But they also anticipated that there might be a negative backlash. They planned how they would respond to that, went ahead with the controversial commercial, and then converted whatever backlash they got superbly into a wave of positives. Honey Maid is the brand. They make very wholesome cookies, everyday stuff. And so wholesome was the commercial.
No matter how things change, what makes us wholesome never will. Honey Maid. Everyday wholesome snacks for every wholesome family. This is wholesome.
So the commercial talked about wholesome families. They showed gay couples, 2 men, 2 women, interracial couples, and obviously there was a storm of hate mail. But then, as I said, they had anticipated it, and they were ready to convert it into an equally strong positive. The second screen, you've all been seeing it happen, and we all know it's a reality today. Nobody sits in front of the TV and says, okay, now that's all I'm going to do. They've either got their phone or they got their tablet, and it is literally, I watch, I go back here during the breaks, I watch, when there's a slow moment, I go back here. Now, in a way that fragments the opportunity for you to engage. In a way, it opens one whole new door. This case is Heineken, the Champions League in Europe, watched practically in every football playing nation in the world. Absolutely, people watched riveted in Europe. Heineken was a title sponsor of the Champions League. And they decided we will use the second screen habit to strengthen the main sponsorship that they were already doing. And what they did was this. Can you click it there? Ah.
The Champions League, watched by millions of people around the world. 76% of them are watching it on their own, and most of them are watching it with their second screens. So main sponsor Heineken wanted to engage with this global audience without getting in the way of the game.
Hey.
Oh, hello.
Glad you can make it. Come and join me on the sofa.
Hashtag Share the Sofa, the first ever real-time football show designed for the second screen. Hosted by a different football legend every match. And supported by a team of unique characters, we let any football fan on the planet feel what it's like to watch the Champions League with a champion. Fans could chat with their heroes about the game, just as easily as they could with their ordinary friends. And as the player gave insights about the match, the characters on set brought them to life, Heineken style. Whether it was the tempo of the match, which team had the upper hand, or just something only a pro would notice. Over 90 minutes, hashtag Share the Sofa created hundreds of shareable reactions to the game and even more meaningful interactions with the fans. Each one conceived, created, and published in real time. The fans weren't the only ones to engage with it. Share the Sofa was picked up and talked about in over 94 countries.
Share of the Sofa de Heineken, donde...
And with that in mind, here's Giuliano Belletti with some results. Hashtag Share the Sofa has generated over 1 billion media impressions so far. I am not shitting you. And reaches 13.4 million Twitter handles every game. Heineken has dominated the Champions League conversation more than any other sponsor in the history of Twitter. And it sells beer. Hashtag Share the Sofa, proving there's only one beer worth watching the Champions League with.
Okay. Now the other phenomenon that is happening, and when a marketer embraces it, it can be a powerful weapon working in our favor. And that is the rise of the social influencer. Whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Vine, particularly on Vine, where the Vine videographers have huge followings, very distinctive styles, usually quirky. So HP, which was known as a fuddy-duddy professional computer company, when they had this 360, a laptop that could bend fully, and when they wanted to target the 16 to 24 with this laptop, so that they would overall bring down the age of their appeal, they went to 6 of the biggest Vine videographers who had following in terms of millions. The condition was very simple. Make us a Vine, 6-second videos. Make us 6-second videos in your distinctive style. And that's very important. It was not the brand's tone. It was that individual. So the brand was willing to give up its ownership and say, okay, you speak for us, which means we agree it has to be in your tone. And so these are the Vines created. So they created a total of 30 wines, out of which they took the 6 most popular ones, most viewed ones. One of them, for example, the girl and the boy with the laptop breaking, that had some 10 million views. And that's what sparked off a very simple thought, saying, why can't we make a TV commercial out of this? And so for the first time, 6 videos shot for wine. Actually, instead of usually it's you make a commercial, then you try and cut it down, cram it into 6 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever it is, and try to put it on social media. This was probably one of the early times when a wine video, particularly wine, is a very different language and tone and style. And 6 seconds is a very short time. And so they said, let's embrace the wine format and let's make a commercial and speak in the wine grammar.
Oh, oh, oh.
Okay, this, again, how technology has opened new avenues not dreamed of before. Toyota, for RAV4, made 100,000 videos. Basically, they had about 100 clips which had been shot. And it was all automated. They actually looked at Facebook, depending on the profile, depending on an individual's likes, preferences, a video was tailored to that particular person. A total of 100,000 variations of the same commercial.
James drove his RAV4 hybrid, unaware death was lurking.
What?
He was
This is the main
challenged by-
commercial. These, okay. This says it all. Episode.
James Marsden appreciates your love of technology. The RAV4 Hybrid, it's all about tech, like its available integrated navigation system with 7-inch touchscreen. Now, if there were only a technology that could block these ads.
Actually, there is
There's not. RAV4! James Marsden appreciates your love of... If you think scuba is fun, neither sharks nor the possibility of being stranded at sea bother you.
Yeah.
You know another great way to get some kicks? Drive the RAV4 Hybrid and experience its awesome horsepower. It's more fun than giving out James's phone number to everyone on Facebook.
That's not funny.
Starts with an 8.
Stop.
RAV4!
So, as I said, and this was, quite honestly, if you ask me, the commercials may not be great. But it does open up phenomenal possibilities because you're taking 100 clips in real time, reconfiguring it to 100,000 possible variations. And of course, they have tried to do it with the words and tried to make it a little witty. But that's customization of a very high degree. Okay. Nearing the end, the viral video. Every marketer's dream. We will make a viral video. You can make a viral video. You make a very good video and you hope like hell it goes viral. But this again is very interesting because this is again one of the big successes when a media channel became the creator. And it was one of the most popular all-time ever videos. It definitely went viral. This was for Purina cat food. It was created by BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed has been phenomenally successful in rechanneling their huge talent for content that people want to watch into brand content, which actually has been extremely successful, at least in the US. They are still in early stages in the UK and Europe. So this was created by BuzzFeed for Purina, launched on BuzzFeed, which then guarantees it 10 million views anyway. I'll play you one because they're slightly long.
Dear kitten, since I have hissed at you the customary 437 times, it is now my duty as the head of the household to begrudgingly welcome you. Perhaps you are here to replace me, but I must do my duty and educate you on your new surroundings, as Maximilian once did for me. Rest in peace. Dear kitten, this room here is basically a crapshoot. Either you get the petting of your life, and I'm in two hands, like you don't even know what's going on, or they just lie there and don't do anything. For hours, it's weird. Oh, and I should also point out, on special occasions, they will leave the underwear drawer open to signal their appreciation of me. Just to be clear, it's my spot. It's perfect in there. It's like sleeping surrounded by underwear. Well, I mean, that's exactly what it is. Dear kitten, I remember when I could fit in a shoe. There's nothing like it. Being engulfed in 360 degrees of foot smell. Enjoy it while you can. Dear kitten, because you are so small, you cannot jump, which is sad. Sad for you. But eventually you will, and you will find the places that I refer to as up. This will come in handy, especially around the human larva, which I know smells like milk, but can be a bit grabby. Dear kitten, you should be aware that there are two kinds of food. The first is sort of a dehydrated brown niblet. I think they gave us these because they're training us to be astronauts. Just a guess. The second kind is wet food. It is so special they keep it in little armored metal casings that no claw can penetrate. With no claws to speak of, the humans can somehow open them. It's like some dark magic. Dear kitten, I should warn you of the monster known as vacuum. It can eat and yell at the same time. And I've seen it eat everything. Seriously, like a paperclip and 2 cat toys. Didn't even flinch. To hide from vacuum, you may use the curtains of invisibility. Oh yeah, you're good. Good hiding. Oh boy. Dear kitten, one final note. Once in a while you might see a little red dot. I'm going to tell you this right now. It is real, and it can be caught. I did it once. I held it for a full minute, but when I lifted my paws, it was gone. So kitten, welcome to the household. You'll do just fine.
There's a whole series.
Dear kitten.
And again, viral means as viral as you can get. In fact, another time when digital video became so popular that it actually became a Super Bowl commercial. There was one in the series called About the Dog, and they actually edited it, what was shot for BuzzFeed, and it premiered on the Super Bowl, which is about the mecca of brand advertising in mainstream media. So, today, the lines are getting blurred, whether it's Vine videographers doing literally ads for you, but in very different styles and very different tones, or whether it's BuzzFeed using its phenomenal ability to create watchable content, creating brand stories. It's becoming, the lines are getting very blurred. And that's good. Because today everything is becoming collaborative, everything is becoming a free-flowing. I think Vishal made that point. Collaboration is everywhere, all around, 360. So, to very quickly sum up, it's all about responding to consumers, to their habits, to their lives, to the way they consume. Consumer behavior has to dictate the story we tell. We cannot say, this is my message, now I will figure out how to say it. You have to be flexible about the story itself that you choose to tell. Technology and data are the new opportunities. Frankly, in some parts we are struggling, in some parts we have cracked it big, but it's great opportunity. Multi-screen stories will be the new frontier. It opens up whole new opportunities. How well we are able to interlink the dual experience is going to be really the challenge. Content can and must come from everywhere. If the consumer is looking everywhere for entertainment, information, engagement, so must we. So basically, that's it. I don't think we can stay with saying advertising or creative people are the storytellers. Today, everything is wide open. The smaller players is a great opportunity because if they are smart and if they adapt and if they respond, they are going to get a huge lead. And the bigger brands have no choice because if they stay stuck in the old paradigms, others are going to overtake them. Change is happening so fast, everybody has to evolve or perish. That's really what I wanted to say. Thank you.